Today, we are going to talk about comic books, American comic books. You may want to know why we're going to talk about that when this channel is supposed to be about London, living in London, and new things in the best city in the world, where the transport just got the most expensive in the world as well. There are lots of things to talk about this city, but today we're going to talk about comic books. Couple of years ago, there were several comic book shops around the city, and then, like the pubs, the famous pubs, they closed down one by one. One of the remaining ones was in Camden Town, where I used to buy the Nightwings and other titles, and the owner decided to close down, not because of financial reasons, because he decided to retire. And it has been bought by Forbidden Planet. So the comic book shop will exist under the label of Forbidden Planet. So this is a fantastic news. In a time when all the pubs are disappearing, all the shops are disappearing, as the retail moving online. But why comic books? Well, I have several reasons for that. I was born in Eastern Europe, and a couple of times there was massive exodus of Eastern European people moving to the USA, including my family, and they were always sending us gifts, presents, and I always got American comic books as a child. And later on, when the translated version of the American comic books became widely available in Hungary, I was collecting them. And I had a massive circle of friends. And we were exchanging comic books. And we were lending it out as well. So basically, my collection operated like a library. People came to me, told me what they want to see. They took it away and they brought it back. Never had any problems. And I had I made very good friends along the way. I went abroad. I worked in 5 countries, and I stayed and studied in London. And I had a comic book shop very near Forbidden Planet, where I went quite regularly. Now it's closed down. Now I think you can buy suits there and shirts. And they offer tailor services as well. When I was doing my studying, I was thinking about places where I want to work, where I want to get my work experience. And I didn't even dare to think that I have a chance at one of the independent comic book publishing places. So I talked to them on Twitter, and the next day I was working for them. So I had my work experience done at the independent comic book publisher. They published Back to the Future, Buffy, among others. And now the Keanu Reeves comic book, The Berserk. It is definitely a hobby of mine. Huge nostalgia factor from my childhood. And I'm doing this episode on American comic books because I just got the news, very late, I know, that one of the iconic miniseries, I think it was from the 80s, Wolverine, of course, is one of the most famous comic book figure, played by Hugh Jackman in the Hollywood version, is teaming up with Kitty Pryde, the young mutant girl who can walk through walls like a ghost. In the 90s, it came to Hungary, to my country as well, and but they didn't get their single issues. What they did, they were selling, it was obviously one of the bestsellers, The Amazing Spider-Man. Every issue of Amazing Spider-Man had about 22 pages of comics, and the remaining 10 pages went to various series. And one of them was Wolverine and Kitty Pryde, written by the legend Claremont. So after 20-30 years, This miniseries will continue, written by the legend Chris Claremont again, and it's coming out, I think, this April. Just now, as I talk about it, I'm blushing. You don't see me, but I'm blushing. It remains still a very hyped up miniseries. And now it got a sequel. Oh my god. There are not many good things to look forward to in 2025, my friend, but this is definitely one of them. Such a simple thing, and it improved my life experience significantly.